Hello, this YouTube post is about how to get students, GCSE English students, motivation to actually plan and schedule their timetabling for revising their exams. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I saw a post recently from a parent on a forum on Facebook about GCSE English and mentioning about her son. So I'm going to quickly share that because I want to show the real life post that I've copied onto one of my screens. So I'll just put this in here and you'll see what I mean. So this was basically the post. It says, "Hi, my son has no interest in revision or doing homework. He's in year 11 and got GCSE exams in a few months. I'm extremely worried about him. He got grade 3 in all his mock exams. Please share any tips on how to motivate him and what are the best resources to get a 4 or a 5 in final exams." Now, this was a real post. And the first line tells it all. "Hi, my son has no interest in revision or doing homework." Well, that's not very helpful, because if this student is not prepared to put in anything, he's not going to get anything out. And this is why this is called fail to plan, plan to fail. Now, when students don't want to take the effort and sacrifice time, it's not, there's nothing that's going to happen. In fact, I would say that it's kind of, this post is asking teachers like myself how to motivate students. Well, that's not easy. It's not easy because the reality is you've got to have that cooperation to help people. The only thing I would say is that if you take the first step in timetabling and making sure that you can create a commitment that is realistic, once you've made the commitment, once you've made the step, it will help. So let's just come out of this for a minute and come back in here. Yes. Right. So once you've made the commitment and you've started to schedule a timetable, you will not get the motivation to do things until you've created that commitment. So the best thing is to literally, if you're a parent, try to work with your son or daughter or whoever it is and say, right, let's try and schedule time. Now, it's not about, I will just do revision when I feel like it. That's got to go. When you get somebody saying that, that means I'll do it when I feel like it. The problem is they're never going to feel like it. So the thing about this is I want to create a new word. It's not called motivation necessarily. It's called motive action. Motive action. In other words, you take action. If you don't take action on anything, you're not going to have any structure in the way you can actually learn how to revise. I mean, I've developed a resource that will help students with an all-inclusive package where they can do their whole revision planning just for GCSE English based on the resource. But if a student is not prepared to do revision, do homework, and put any time in, it's going to be a failure. It's not that you give up on people. It's that if this student does not want to work, then they've got to make the decision at the right time. But the way to do it is to look at the importance of what this means. For instance, with core subjects and what I call the main core, maths, science, and English, they are required, and you have to get a lot of you have to do pretty well in GCSE English exams to get an opportunity of following whatever it is you want to pursue in your life. But it takes sacrifice and time. It's not given to you. And I saw replies from lots of other tutors and people saying, well, you know, take the pressure off. Well, I'm sorry, but it's not the way it works. Life is not easy. And the people who are successful are prepared to give up time. If you put an analogy of somebody who became one of the best footballers in the world, Lionel Messi, he efforts, he sacrificed many things in order to become one of the best players in the world, and it paid off. So for a moment in your life, and what we've got at the moment is these GCSE exams kick off in middle of May and they finish just about the middle, nearly the end of June. So this is not far off at all. So what we need to have now is a plan of action that is written down and is in front of a student, saying, on Monday, I'm going to do half an hour, 30 minutes, looking at language paper 1, question 3. And it's having that sort of schedule and commitment. And if you're prepared to put in the time, you will improve. You can't improve by, as a parent, and it's difficult. It's a juggling. You can't do everything for your children. It's about discipline. It's about routine, and it's about the smart use of time. I've seen this with over 45 years in education. I have seen this time and time again. Students who plan improve. Students who don't fall short. And that's the harsh reality. But it has to take commitment. And when you think of it in the big picture, a lot of the GCSE students, they're all in their teenage years. They're in the years of growing and maturing into adulthood. Their focus gets distracted. And what they've just got to do is try to think about that, having achieved putting in the time and effort. This is a one moment chance where you can make good what you haven't been doing, but you can't do it. You can't have a magic book. If you're not prepared in GCSE English, you have to read. You have to read. There's no way around it. And so would a resource help? Not with people who can't read, but then they shouldn't be doing the GCSE English exams. So it's about giving the time, making the effort, and starting to take action. And I call it motive action. Remember that, because it makes you take action. If you don't take action, there's no reaction. You know, it's a scientific fact. If you do nothing, nothing's going to change. If you're not prepared to try, you're not going to succeed. So that is it. So this is a kind of a push for those who still haven't started their revision planning. You need to start your revision planning now. You need to start developing your own timetable. It doesn't mean you're just going to be cramming and sitting up every night working for hours on end. That's not what revision is. Still factor in the things you enjoy, the fun. If you go to a sports club in one evening, don't stop doing that. Do keep things going, get the balance right. But if you start to schedule something that's concretely written down in front of you, and you're saying on Monday or on Wednesday or on Friday or Tuesday, whatever it is, at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I'm doing this, you then tick it off. And as you create that timetable, cross it out, say, I've done it, then move on. Once you get the habit, as we all know, the first step is the hardest. Once you make that first step, you will start getting the momentum to continue that. It's a bit like people who want to get fit and they say, I'm going to go to the gym, and then they don't. But eventually they take the first step, find out it was hard, but actually enjoyed it, come away and saying, I want to go again. That's exactly the same when you're revising. Anyway, on this video, you can see a link. I do have a revision guide, and it's online now, and that can be picked up as a resource. But the most important thing is take action today. Take not take action tomorrow, take it today. And remember, fail to plan, and you are planning to fail. Thank you.